Hey everyone, this is Prince Watercress, and welcome to a brand new Let's Play. This time around, it's a replay of Streets of Rage, where I play as Blaze Fielding, as promised. And after checking to see if we are on normal, which we are, we're going to play the game on normal difficulty. I will keep this at 4 videos, this will all be post-commentary, and this will also be much faster than the actual playthrough. I actually don't think I'll be using continue here, but you never know. As you can tell, Blaze is not as powerful as Adam and Axel, but she is a lot faster than even Axel. She's probably the best choice for beginners. And without further ado, here's round 1. We have a few things you can do besides the usual standard standing combo here. You can walk into enemies to grab them, and you can knee them twice with the B button before you actually do a little kickflip or whatever it is that the last third attack is. But you can press back and B simultaneously to do a throw, or you can press C to vault over your opponent, grab them from behind, and then press B to do a suplex. Suplex is the most useful attack because that does the most damage out of all the grab attacks. And I might as well go ahead and mention the enemies here. Those guys in the blue with the orange hair are the Galcias. Those guys will punch you over and over. That yellow guy with the mohawk is the Signal. He will try to throw you and also perform a slide attack. And of course we'll have more along the way. Telephone posts here contain enemies. Not enemies, but items. Such as the apple that I picked up earlier, as well as that bottle that I can use as a weapon. This actually does me more harm than good because it leaves me with fewer attack options, and I have the way to finish swinging the thing before I can attack again, and the attack range is kind of narrow on that. I'd rather use the pipe instead. That lets me attack enemies and kill them off in 2 or 3 hits, especially against that karate guy who will do somersaults and also try to kick me really, really hard. And there's another apple there, we need it. I grab it because overconfidence and gameplay abilities, hello. And you can see I have a much easier time playing as Blaze because, well, I can move a lot faster, and her throw has a lot more distance to it compared to Axel's. I just knocked him right out of the screen entirely as soon as I did that throw. There are times where you will be able to see enemies coming from behind you after you manage to move certain parts of the scenery out of the way, like right there, and thankfully they are very easy to memorize. You'll be figuring out which ones they are like a pro after a couple of playthroughs. Woman right there with the whip is the Dominatrix. She will hit you with the whip, and she can instantly knock you down to the ground if that hit connects. And there is some barbecue. I always call it the meat, but you can call it what you want. That will completely refill your health. You will see this less often than you will the apple, and you will always see it at the end of the stage usually. And there's the first boss who's managed to kick me because I was too close to him. He also has a boomerang attack that we will not see because I finished him off rather quickly. It's really easy for me to move into him and basically do a whole bunch of grab attacks to him. Like so. Not a very difficult boss, and we'll barely see much of him. He only shows up again during the boss rush. Yes, there's a boss rush. And at the end of every round, we get a whole bunch of bonus points. Managed to get 50,000 points over there. We get an extra life at 50,000 points, and another one every subsequent 100,000. So keep that in mind if you want to get some free lives and you don't want to die a whole bunch of times. And round 2 is the slums, where we get to see a few new enemies, as well as some more depressing music. All of which is composed by the great Yuzo Koshiro. There's a money bag that gives us some points. You definitely want to pick those up. And there's a pepper shaker, which only appears in the first game. Throw it at somebody. If the pepper connects, it will stun them temporarily. You can get at least 1 or 2 enemies with that. And while they're stunned, you can have free reign to do whatever they want until they snap out of it, which is only after a few seconds. And that guy is holding a knife. When he has it reared back like that, he's not much of a threat. You can still grab him, but you still want to be careful for his knife toss. There is another kind of knife enemy that we will see later. For now, let's just try to deal with the multiple Galcias and try not to die. And I just grabbed the bottle when I didn't want to, so I'm just going to do a quick switch here, and if I get hit with it, well, like I did right there, I will lose it. You can hold that weapon up to 3 times before you lose it completely, and you can't pick it back up again. And that little figurine of Adam, Blaze, and Axel, that is the 1-up for the game. And we're dealing with some even more enemies. Enemies become much more numerous in round 2. You definitely want to use your throw, as well as hit as many enemies as you can with a standing combo to do some crowd control. Just do what you need to do. Also forgot to mention the knife. You can stab people with it, but you can also throw it at enemies for an instant kill too. There will be some enemies in the future which will not go down with a hit in the chest from the knife. So you'll definitely want to keep that in mind as well. And now that I have the pipe again, I'm able to make a clean sweep out of this entire screen. And there's a new enemy there. That is a juggler. He would usually juggle either torches or axes, and you don't want to run into him while he does it. You want to wait for him to stop juggling and prepare to throw something at you to actually get close enough to hit him with a standing combo. Once you've got him stunned, then you can actually do the grab combo and do whatever you want. I forgot to mention the baseball bat in round 1. That pretty much works just like the pipe, and the only reason I mention it now is because one of the enemies from the first round held it, and I forgot to mention it up until now. As you can see, the jugglers take a little more hits than your usual Signal or Galcia. And that one there is carrying battle axes. Why he's carrying those and where he got them, I'm not quite sure, but you treat them just like the ones that you saw earlier. Just stay away from him, and when he either stands still or manages to run right into your punches of your standing combo, that's when you want to dig in and destroy him. Now, here is the boss for the second round. It's this guy with claws on his hands, and you can see by walking in the upper right corner, I managed to luck out. And you basically want to take care, don't do any jump attacks on them, otherwise you'll do an unblockable attack that you won't be able to avoid. And there is a super attack that you can use by pressing A. This does a lot of damage to bosses, and it takes care of all the normal enemies on screen. I use that because the third of the 3 scumbags that helps him out carries a knife, and he has it out in front of him. If he touches you with the knife out in front of him like that, it will do immediate damage and it will knock you down. And it's very nasty. But as long as you use your speed to outwit the boss and do some suplexes and throws and whatnot, and as well as throw enemies into him, he's easy to deal with. Next up is round 3, which I will tackle in the next video along with round 4. Until then, this is Prince Watercress. Take care, stay safe, and thanks for watching!